Matt, it is time for our main event. UFC on ESPN 7. Overeem versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Bigi Boy. And Matt, let's start the clock here. Listen, since Jairzinho Rozenstruik came into the UFC, he's been an absolute wrecking ball. I mean, wins over Junior Albini, Alan Crowder, Andre Arlovski, and you can say what you will about them, but listen, a jab and ground and pound in 9 seconds against Alan Crowder, a sub-30-second knockout of Arlovski just last month, and then the win over Junior Albini back in February. You have crazy wins like that. It's just insane to me that he's been able to move up so quick. I mean, there are two heavyweights that I hold in such high regard right now as being top talents for the future. Jairzinho Rozenstruik with his kickboxing background. This is a guy that, listen, I've been following him for a long time, and I've really been, getting deep into the research. And this is a guy that you cannot sleep on. While I am surprised that he was thrust into this main event so quickly in his tenure in the UFC, automatically taking on a top 10 guy and a well-seasoned guy in Alistair Overeem. I mean, we can go through the accolades. Oh, yeah. But to me, Jairzinho Rozenstruik is something that just needs to be prized. And you can't... It's early for this, but I'm kind of all right with it.
That's the thing. Okay, Israel Adesanya's fighter of the year no matter what. And don't come out with this Jorge Masvidal stuff. Jairzinho, if he wins this, has a legitimate claim to that title. I mean, He would have been 4-0 with a main event win against one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Here's the problem, though. The level of competition between a 2019 Andre Arlovski and Alistair Overeem is so monumental, it's not even funny. I mean, Alistair Overeem, every single time they want to discount him, he's got no chin, he's old, he can't do it without PEDs. He keeps on adding new wrinkles to his game, and he looks different the older he gets. It's really good, too. It's nice to see.
I mean, we remember back, if you go back to 2017, wins over Mark Hunt where he knocked him out, and that was vicious. Wild. A decision win over Fabrizio Verdum. And then he fights Francis Ngannou, and it's a knockout of the year, not in Overeem's favor.
No.
It's the MMA equivalent of a basketball getting put on a poster. That highlight's going to be viral forever. You're never going to see it go away. Oh yeah, here's Curtis Blaydes, same thing. I mean, those elbows from top position were just hellacious.
They're bad.
But what does he do? He changes up his training camp, goes to Team Elevation, and now he's working directly with Curtis Blaydes. He comes out and he takes on Sergey Pavlovich, who's undefeated, your Fight Night's global heavyweight champ, and beats the piss out of him.
It was wild.
In the first round.
And then poor Alexei Olenek. That man's 75 years old.
And in the Sergey Pavlovich fight, it's like, here's Overeem. He turned back the clock. Everybody was sleeping on him. I know, you get excited about it. I'm excited about it.
You're fired up right now.
You go back, he was a slight underdog in that fight.
Which is insane.
It's crazy to think, and it was just, again... Pavlovich making his UFC debut, and I thought, my gosh, this is way too big of a step up in competition. And I know he was taking on recognizable names in Fight Nights Global, but you're not taking on Alistair Overeem, who's been there and done that, and still fighting the best of the best. I mean, Curtis Blaydes and Francis Ngannou are right there in the top 5.
His last 3 losses are the 3 best heavyweights in the world right now, so there's no shame in that whatsoever. And for Alistair Overeem, this is, okay, when we look at the X's and the O's of the fight, Jairzinho might be the first guy Alistair Overeem's ever fought with as good of a Muay Thai and or kickboxing background that he himself has. Jairzinho's got hundreds of Muay Thai fights, one of the better strikers in the division. The only thing that worries me, though, is if you look all the way back to the Junior Albini fight, which is basically his last fight that lasted for any time whatsoever, he got taken down. And Junior Albini's definitely not a wrestler, nor is he a grappler, but he was still able to get a few takedowns in that fight. Alistair Overeem is probably going to fight this a lot like he fought that Pavlovich fight. People know Alistair can't take a shot all that well, but he kind of uses that to his advantage now. He sort of leads his chin out.
He'll bait guys too. I mean, he'll hold back in like a southpaw stance, and he'll go way back.
Be like an old-timey boxer.
Yeah, he does some weird kind of stuff, weird head movement, and sometimes he gets caught. It happens. He gets caught. But I don't want to give it away too early. I mean, we're 4 minutes into the video, but still... It's a fun fight. With a loss, Rozenstruik gains a lot. I mean, you're taking this fight on short notice. You're losing to a former title challenger, multiple-time title challenger. You're losing to one of the best ever, really. If you lose. As far as the odds are concerned here, which we always like to talk about, Overeem a slight favorite, -120, Rozenstruik +105. A lot of people siding with those quick finishes from 2019 and the great record that Rozenstruik possesses. And listen, again, I've been high on this guy forever. The second heavyweight that I wanted to just mention briefly, Cyril Gane. He's another one of those guys that he's fighting Tanner Boser and Busan, and I'm really looking forward to that fight. But this one right here, Matt, who are you picking and why?
Okay, in my head right now, I'm like trying to go through, all the scenarios. If Rozenstruik wins, I feel like he's going to win by head kick. I don't know why. It's a feeling. I think Alistair Overeem's going to win by ground and pound, either round 1 or 2. I do think he's going to go for the quick takedown. Jairzinho might be able to catch him. I feel like that's going to be his only chance, though. It's hard to tell, too. It seems like we have one of these fighters every single year who goes on like a 4-0 streak, and they'll go from,
The Anthony Smith, the Jorge Masvidal, the Israel Adesanya.
Fight past prelims to main event all in 1 year, and it's always a really good thing. So hopefully Jairzinho can build off this momentum, even if he does lose. But I do feel like Alistair's going to get a finish in this fight.
Really looking forward to it. I'm going to pick Overeem as well, but listen, again, as far as my track record's concerned, I would not be surprised if Jairzinho gets a win, but I'm going to side with Overeem here. Really looking forward to this. Such a great card. Go through the prelims if you get the chance. We're really looking forward to it. The new studio with Fight Night Picks.
It's an exciting time.
Check out our 2-minute predictions. Also, we're going to post last week's episode of This Week in MMA this week due to a poor internet connection here. But listen, we're looking forward to it. You're not going to want to miss the rest of our 2-minute predictions here for UFC on ESPN 7. Matt, let's get into it.